Now to breaking news we've got regarding China. A tabloid in China, the Global Times, has put out an article about the controversy we saw playing out yesterday around Bharat and the implication it seemed that came forward yesterday that there would possibly be a change in name in stock. Remember, controversy was created when an invitation from the President of India, said President of Bharat. Now, in that ensuing controversy, we did see many political opposition and BJP leaders come out yesterday and the day before that. But while keeping an eye on that, it seems now a Chinese media outlet has commented. I'll go over to my colleague Abhishek to understand what it is that they had to say. Abhishek, we'll just ask you that first. Then we'll ask you for your commentary on it. Please first tell us what happened.
So clearly the Global Times and many other Chinese state-sponsored media organizations have commented on the renaming rumors of our country, that is India or Bharat, and they have expressed their opinions regarding that. The Global Times article clearly says that this whole idea of turning India's name from India to Bharat traces back to 1947, and apparently the government is trying to give away the legacy of colonialism and rename itself as Bharat, so that that colonialist legacy should be shed off from the country's past. But they have asked, Global Times has asked, will they be able to turn back their economic prowess as well? Historically, India's hesitancy in fully opening up its markets to the world is understandable. But post-1947 history tells us that every time India promotes reform and economic liberalization, it brings a strong impetus to economic growth. So there have been certain aspects of praising also towards India and India's overall economic policy. But they have very subtly put in, slipped in their criticism to India. One of the portion of the article says that India's strict crackdown on some Chinese companies is connected with rising nationalism and populism in the country. This situation will inevitably undermine investors' confidence in India. So while there has been, certain restrictions on banning of certain Chinese companies, but that has been in the wake of national interest and sensitive information snooping that the Chinese companies were alleged about. And China is turning that around and saying that these company banning or prohibitory orders against certain Chinese companies were out of this nationalism and populism that the government is trying to pursue. And this instances of banning Chinese companies is clearly going to undermine investors' confidence in India. So,
okay.
There is a lot of criticism also that has been slipped through the article about the renaming of India.
Okay. Abhishek, one thing I think it's very important for our audiences to have context of here is how seriously we should take the Global Times. How important is this media outlet in the Chinese national context?
Global Times is important, but the point is that it is government-sponsored, government-funded, and propagating government agenda all this while. They have been critical of any country, including US, Russia, or Europe, when it confronts the Chinese interest. And they have been appraising about the Chinese issues, Chinese people, Chinese economy, beyond the realities as well. So whatever is happening in China, whether it is human rights violation, whether it is reality, meltdown, the Chinese economy meltdown, or the COVID in the last 3-4 years, the COVID scenario, the Chinese media organizations, especially Global Times or China Daily, they have been very, silent about the overall ground realities during those days, or what the economic repercussions happened for the every single normal Chinese citizen living in the country. However, they have been very critical about what happened across the border around the world. So, I mean, this is a state-sponsored propaganda news channel which does, in a way, reflect what the government thinks. So, in a quasi manner, it is not the official version of the Chinese state, Chinese government, but it does reflect the view, the opinion that the Chinese side thinks about the world, about the other country, and in this case, about India.
Okay. Abhishek, thank you for bringing us that.